exploitation and the life cycle I talked about. What were the stages I gave you? Exploration, right? But mostly you must get the
Exploration, appraisal.
yes, but you must get the license first. Do you get it? And that is the right acquisition stage. So this question is a typical question that can come straight for 10 marks, right? So enumerate the main phases of natural resource exploitation, bringing out the key distinguishing features and or activities involved in each stage of the operations. Now you can go to the exam and you get activities like this same question, where you have to list all the activities and explain them. Or you can go to the exam and then they just ask you about just one part. Just what? They can just ask you about just what?
One part.
One part. Do you understand? So
Yeah.
just prepare yourself. Any part can be examined on its own. On its what? On its own. And this stage does not only apply to petroleum. You can go to the exam and they bring it from a mining perspective the same. They bring it for timber, for fisheries, anything. So far as it involves minerals or petroleum, you are good to go. So please, let's go. You read and then we go. Then we look at the activities there. That is the most important. So that if you even get a calculation question, you know that, okay, this one, it is this stage. So under petroleum, this is the right acquisition stage is where normally you pay the bonuses. Do you remember? The signature bonus. Okay. And then the license fees. Okay, that's the right acquisition phase. That's why signature bonus, we always capitalize it. Whether signature or production bonus, I'll teach you how to deal with all that. We capitalize them. Makes sense. All right. So please read and let's go. Let's look at the stages quickly and take another question. We have a lot to do. Please read and let's go. Who is reading?
Okay. Rights concession or rights acquisition phase. The concession or rights acquisition phase involves the processes necessary to secure the legal right to explore natural resources within a designated area. The phase includes the arrangement and negotiation of exploration and extraction rights with relevant authorities and stakeholders. It ensures that the necessary permits and licenses are obtained, settling the groundwork for the subsequent phases of resource exploitation. Okay, so 2, exploration phase. During the exploration phase, activities are focused on identifying and locating natural resources using various techniques such as geological surveys, geophysical methods, and remote sensing. The phase involves collecting data through these methods to analyze and interpret the presence and potential quantity of resources. The exploration efforts aim to map out resource deposits and assess their distribution and concentration. Evaluation and appraisal phase. In the evaluation or appraisal phase, the seismic data and other information gathered during exploration are analyzed to determine the commercial viability of the natural resources. This phase involves assessing whether the resources can be economically extracted and if the investment required for development is justified. Key consideration includes resource quantity, quality, and the economic feasibility of extraction and processing. Development phase. Prof. Development stage. The development phase is characterized by the installation of machinery and equipment necessary for commercial production of natural resources. This phase involves the construction of infrastructures such as drilling rigs or mining facilities, and the implementation of extraction technologies. It prepares the site for large-scale resource extraction and ensures that the operations can proceed efficiently and effectively. Production phase. The production phase is where commercial extraction of natural resources actually takes place. This phase involves the extraction, processing, storage, and transportation of resources to distribution points for market delivery. It includes the operational activities necessary to bring the resources from the extraction site to the market, ensuring that they are efficiently processed and distributed. Abandonment decommissioning phase. In the abandonment or decommissioning phase, which is specifically relevant to petroleum operations, the focus is on the closure of production activities. This phase involves dismantling production facilities and ensuring that they are safely removed from service. For mining operations, this phase is known as the rehabilitation phase. It includes setting aside funds to restore the site to its original condition or to a state that mitigates environmental impact. It is crucial to ensure that wells, pipelines, mines, and other facilities are decommissioned safely to prevent harm to the public and the environment.
Then we have what?
Okay.
Go.
Relinquishment phase. The relinquishment phase pertains to the release of the concession or exploration right back to the licensor. This phase may occur due to the conditions stipulated in the exploration agreement or if no commercial discovery is made. It involves formally returning the rights or license to the relevant authorities, often including a final assessment to ensure that all obligations have been met and that the site is properly managed before relinquishment.
Okay, stop there. Now, I told you every diet, this can come fully or a part of it can come. Let's see something. I think this is the document they shared. Is it clear? It looks like it's not clear. Just write short notes on the following. Okay, oil and gas. Explain the concept of ring fencing. You can see the ring fencing I talked about. Can you see it there?
Yeah.
So in the framework, was this there? Was this in the framework we looked at? Was it in the framework we looked at?
Yeah.
Petroleum Wealth Fund, Petroleum Revenue Management Act. Can you see? You see it's there. Ring fencing, you see there, 6 marks, okay? It's a framework. When you master the framework, any question that will come, you'll be ready for it. Okay, we go. Now look, unitization redetermination, was it in the framework? Okay. Now we said what? If taxation is a major consideration in deciding which offer to accept, would you advise him to take up in light of this provision? Support your choice with relevant tax. Yalmino has received 2 appointment letters, one to work with the GRA as a tax official, while the other was to work with Wangara Mining Company. The company granted a valid mining lease. Both employment contracts make provision of accommodation as part of the contract. You see miscellaneous?
Yeah.
Yes, Prof.
Yes.
Was it in the list?
So he will not be taxed on the mining one, but will be taxed in GRA.
Yes. But you see miscellaneous. Can you see?
Yes, sir.
You see where it's coming? Okay.
Please, the mining one, it will only not be, the accommodation will not be taxed if it's on the mining site.
Yes, if it's on
Yeah.
the site, that's what you have to
Yeah, or proximity to the mine. Yeah.
You make reference to the income tax regulations and then section 4. All right. of the Income Tax Act. Now, the rehabilitation, you see, rehabilitation. Which part of the life cycle can we find rehabilitation?
Is it the last one
The
No,
last cycle.
part one.
of mining?
The last but one. We have
Last but one.
Decommissioning
decommissioning or abandonment of field before
or
relinquishment.
abandonment. Yes.
Yeah, it came as rehabilitation, which is for mining. We just read it, right? Let's go and see. I told you each part can be examined separately, Shadia. In the abandonment or decommissioning, which is specifically relevant to petroleum, the focus is on the closure of the production activities. This phase involves dismantling production facilities and ensuring that they are safely removed. For mining, this phase is known as rehabilitation phase. It includes setting aside funds to restore the site to its original condition or to a state that mitigates environmental impact. It is crucial to ensure that wells, pipelines, mines, and other facilities are decommissioned safely to prevent harm to the public and the environment. Are you gradually getting the framework? It's not about the questions I'm solving, no. It's the mindset behind it.
So, Prof, so with the rehabilitation, you can't go and say that it focuses on closure of production and
Yes, that is the explanation. But the law itself gives us how to treat rehabilitation and then what do we call it? The other one, Kaifen is saying. Decommissioning fund, and that is what we are going to do now, right? So let's go to the Income Tax Act and let's go and look at how to treat these ones once and for all, so that once we are done. So now anything we'll look at for oil, we'll look at it for anything we look at for oil and gas, we'll look at it for this IDM thing. What is this? Oh, they are changing their systems and they are just worrying us to buy new software. Which one is this? Where was I, crap? You just fault my this thing. Let me just off the. Okay, so we have to visit the Income Tax Act. Let me try and see if I can open the Income Tax Act. Then I show you how to deal with this in case it comes. Okay, but I are just prepared for it. Maybe the last diet rehabilitation came. This diet they can decide to bring what? Decommissioning. Do you get it? Are we all
Yes, sir.
So you just prepare, that's all. It's about preparation. There's no shortcut anywhere. There is a shortcut, but you give it to students, they become lazy. So I don't do shortcuts. Or I'm not being fair.
It's last minute too.
I said there are shortcuts, but I don't do shortcuts. So that's still you have 2 days. You can go and read. Maxwell, you said my voice is low. Is my voice low? Today my network is very slow. I open a document and it takes ages to open. Why? Oh. I open the class at all. So when I open this thing. So look at minerals. Let's go to section 84. Am I right? Section 84. Yes, 84. Read for me. Quickly, we have
Approved rehabilitation funds, an amount accumulated in or withdrawn from an approved rehabilitation fund by a person who holds a mineral right for the purposes of rehabilitation of the area, which is the subject of the mining lease, is exempt from tax.
Okay, so usually when you set up a fund for rehabilitation, okay, whether you accumulate or withdraw from it, it's exempt from tax. But it's only taxed when there's a surplus in the fund. So this rehabilitation or decommissioning comes from IAS 37, okay, where you know that you have an obligation to clean up the place. So you start setting up a fund, okay, maybe the next 20 years you want to rehabilitate or restore it to its original position. So let's go. Where there's a surplus,
Where there is a surplus in the approved rehabilitation fund, after a person completes rehabilitation of a separate mineral operations conducted by that person, or at the time the person breaches an approved rehabilitation plan, the surplus shall be included in calculating the income of the person from the separate mineral operation for that year of assessment.
So you get the whole idea. So decommissioning fund or rehabilitation fund here is actually exempt if it is inadequate or you set it up and then you are withdrawing from it or you're contributing to it. But once, let's say you set up 60,000, but what you end up having in it is 80,000, that surplus is taxable. And also, if you breach an approved rehabilitation plan, okay, so let's say that in the plan you are not supposed to withdraw from it, and then you withdrew from it before the time, you have breached the plan. In that case, any money inside becomes taxable. Does it make sense to everyone?
Yes, sir.
Who didn't get it? So this is for rehabilitation. So what is rehabilitation?
The last one, you said any money inside is taxable.
Yeah.
I thought it's only the portion that you took out of the fund known as taxable.
No, that's not how it works. That's not how it works. The portion you take out of the fund is not even taxable, it's exempt. But I'm saying if only there's a surplus left in the fund after you withdrew, that surplus is taxable. Or you broke the trust of the plan, meaning you breached the plan. You want to
I can use it for a different thing than the rehabilitation.
Yes, that's what I mean.
And then it's taxable.
Yes, then it's taxable. And also when there's a surplus in the fund, it's taxable.
And my question is, let's say 100,000 in a rehabilitation fund, and then you take 20,000 to go and do something. So the 20,000 is the one that is
Yes, so not the 20,000. You have breached the plan, becomes taxable.
Mm.
Do you get it? But you understood the surplus. So you want to do 100,000, but you have 200,000 in the fund. So the extra 100,000 becomes taxable. So look, the law says what? An approved rehabilitation fund in respect of mineral means a fund established as required under any applicable mineral agreement or approved rehabilitation plan. Approved rehabilitation plan in respect of mineral means a plan for reclamation, rehabilitation, or closure of operations approved by the minister responsible for mines. So anytime rehabilitation fund comes, you have to define these ones and add it to it to get the full mark. So students who just went with the provision under section 84, are you getting it? Without defining this, we'll lose the 2 marks there and only be marked over 4. You get?
Yes, sir.
So let's go to section 70, I believe. Sometimes I'm very tired. I don't even think I remember the section. So let's go to section 70. Section 70. So we are on point, eh? Decommissioning fund. An amount accumulated in or withdrawn from the decommissioning fund for decommissioning is exempt from tax. You see how petroleum and minerals are just the same, but with different names. Where there's a surplus in the relevant decommissioning fund after a person completes decommissioning of petroleum operation conducted by the person, or at the time he breaches an approved decommissioning plan, that surplus shall be included in calculating the income of that person from the separate petroleum operation for the year of assessment. How is this different from the other one? Same, right? So whatever you do for decommissioning fund is the same thing you do for approved rehabilitation fund.
Yes, Prof.
Good.
So, Prof. Yeah. So what you just read, meaning that the excess is added back and taxed accordingly.
Yes. And when we look
at 35% petrol.
Yes.
petroleum income tax.
General, it is the same thing. See, let's go to petroleum income. I want to show you something, right? So look, let's go to petroleum income. I want to show you something. When it comes to the income of petroleum, you see it there. Let me show you. Section 60. Yes. Income from petroleum operations, right there. Subject to 65. The income of a person for petroleum includes the market value of petroleum obtained from petroleum agreement area that is disposed of during the year. So when you sell the oil, right, that was allotted to you. Compensation received, whether under a policy of insurance or otherwise, in respect of loss or destruction of petroleum from a petroleum agreement. So we are saying that at the end of the day, if, let's say, your field got burnt, right, and an insurance company compensates you from the petroleum that you have lost, do you get it? It's still an income to you. Makes sense? An amount derived in respect of sale of information pertaining to petroleum operations or reserves. So you know that, let's say I was at the tunnel, Cape 3 Point, right? And I went to exploration there, okay? AB Petroleum. And then another company called CD Petroleum comes and says, oh, Chairman, I've also got a license for the tunnel Cape 3 Point, right? Tunnel West Cape 3 Point. Can you kindly sell me the data that you have already done the exploration and all that, right? So you know everything happening there. Instead of me coming to do the whole exploration again, I can buy that information from you. Makes sense. The seismic information, geological and geophysical information. Makes sense.
Yes, sir.
And most companies, because I've already passed the exploration phase, I can sell that for huge amounts of dollars. And that also is treated as what? Petroleum income under our law. Make sense? So how many incomes have we seen? 1, the sale of petroleum. 2, compensation for destruction, right? 3, sale of information. 4, a gain from assignment or disposal of an interest in the petroleum right with respect to which operation is conducted. So if I sell my petroleum right, let's say I decided to sell the petroleum right to CD company, then it's a gain to me, right? It must be treated as an income. So usually you are comparing the costs against what? The consideration that you received, right? If the consideration is more than the cost, then you have a gain. It's treated as an income. Does that make sense to everyone?
Yes, sir.
Look at the E part. It said an amount required to what? Be included under section 70 in respect of a surplus in a decommissioning fund. So once there's a surplus, it shall be added to your income because it is treated as an income here and therefore will be taxed. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
Good. Then we have an amount received after production commenced as reimbursement of cost and a premium to a sole risk party under the sole risk terms of a joint operating agreement. So when we come together, let's say party A, party B, party C comes together, right? And then this guy used his own money to carry out the exploration and development. And then these guys decide to come together to pay him. Is it not an income to him?
Yeah, it is.
So you treat it as such. This is what these sections are saying. All right, so we go. Now, any amount derived by the person during the year from or incidental to the operation are included in calculating income. So if at the end of the day, if we decide to do a joint arrangement and at the end of the day a surplus comes and we are all enjoying, it is also an income to me. It's incidental, right? It happened because of the operation. In management accounting, we say directly attributable. Do you understand? Yeah, we were all going to cook. Look, we are all going to cook food, right? And then we bought fish. Before we opened the package, it's supposed to be 12 pieces of fish in the carton, right? But when I opened the carton, we got extra 5 pieces. So what happens then? Abi, if we are sharing, everybody will also get extra because there's an extra that came up. True or false?
True.
Yeah. So these are incidental issues. So you see the way these things are, but you just need to know them and they are fun to know. All right, so we saw the stages, right? Every stage can be asked. Now, what I'm concerned about is exploration and then the evaluation or appraisal stage. So the concession or right acquisition, obtaining petroleum blocks in Ghana is another question they can ask you. So we are going to look at how to acquire petroleum blocks in Ghana. I don't know whether I have that question. Yeah, I think so. Let me look for it. Petroleum blocks. You see how I'm taking it?
Yes, sir.
So if we see it, yechin ni kuno. Last stop. We don't waste time again. So let's go from petroleum agreement because it's the agreement that was specified, right? I don't know whether I have this question or the questions are more than 2,000. Okay, so I think this should suffice. Yeah. So it was just under the thing, right? It was just under.